Adiós patria adorada, Rion del Sul querida, perla del mar de oriente nuestro, perdido Eden. A darte voy alegre la triste mosta vida, y fuera más brillante, más fresca, más florida. También por ti la diera por tu bien.
Okay. So again, welcome to everybody. This is second time that I'm having uh, distinguished guests in this Musings of Knights of Rizal Know Your Knights episode. And today we have Sir Rado Gatchalian from the Northern Sydney chapter in Australia. And he was gracious enough to say yes to our invitation. As you know, the Know Your Knights uh, program is basically just for the internet universe, the KOR universe, to know a little bit about the Knights of Rizal that we see on Facebook, that we see on YouTube. You know, sometimes they talk and about Rizal and they do their ministerial purposes, speeches and parties. You know, having fun, but we really don't get to know them. So this is the purpose of that. Sir Rado, can you would you please tell us about yourself?
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to thank Sir Alvin for the invitation, and I would like to greet out your followers and listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening here from Sydney, Australia. I'm Rado Gatchalian from Northern Sydney chapter. I am basically here in Sydney, Australia, but originally from the Gupan City, Pangasinan. So, other than that, as Knights of Rizal, I started as a participant, and now I am currently the archivist for our chapter.
Sir, can you tell us about your family life a little bit?
Of course, of course. I am very glad. I'm very happy to introduce myself. So I have two kids. I have an 18-year-old son. His name is Justin Emmanuel. Justin from the author philosopher Justin Gardner, and I have a daughter, 15-year-old, whose name is Ayn Shanti from the author of Atlas Shrugged, the American philosopher Ayn Rand. So basically, I'm into philosophy. I'm into history, and
So I had some questions here for you that we would hope you will give us an insightful answer to get us to know you better. And we know that you're a philosopher, a writer, and to be able to bring that out from you. Uh, is there any particular experience that made you realize that the Knight of Rizal was a right fit for you?
even before in the Philippines, I was so into Rizal. But then, for apparent reason that I don't need to reveal for personal reason, I think it was 2006 or 2007. I almost became a knight of Rizal, but I retracted my membership for a personal reason because I always question that why is it the this group or this particular association only focuses on the martyrdom ceremony during 30th December. It's like just offering a flower. For me, I would like to show that being a follower of Rizal is more than offering a flower every 30th December. Though I'm not a Knight of Rizal, I still go to the statue of Rizal every 30th December at my own personal capacity. I also celebrate the birthday of Rizal in my personal capacity. And every year I write poems for our dear Jose Rizal. Just a challenge for the dear brothers out there that they should do more because they are Knights of Rizal. They should do more compared to those people who are not Knights of Rizal. And then in 2019, accidentally, during the celebration of Philippine Independence Day, I met a knight, a knight of Rizal brother. His name is Bob Alipalo. And that's how it started. He invited me to be part of this new group, which is the Northern Sydney chapter. He was about to start a chapter. I believe that year 2019 was a perfect time for me to become officially part of a Rizaliana movement, which is the Knights of Rizal. So here I am now, even though I started with pessimism and rebellion, here I am now so proud to be part of a Knight of Rizal.
So is it going to be safe to say that after all that pessimism in 2019 6, 2007. Well, 2019, you decided to take the challenge, and you thought it was a right time to
Yes.
take up the challenge of being a knight.
Yes, yes. And probably I would need to give credit to Sir Bob Alipalo, because I said to him as well, I challenged him as well. I really want to join a chapter if it's a meaningful chapter, if it's really uh, if a chapter is really sincere to our advocacy to promote Rizal. And he was really good. He was really intellectual as well, the a person that I'm really looking up to. So I said to myself, I mean, this is the chapter, the group that I really like, and at the same time, I can offer my service.
Using their not only their uh, heart but also their minds in joining the Knights of Rizal,
Of
because
course, it's
sometimes
important.
they join the Knights of Rizal because it's barcada or party, but you're like a cerebral
Yes.
unit.
Just to add for that, Sir Alwin, I even wrote an article before. I said to them that sometimes this Knight of Rizal is all about titles, yeah? But I challenged, based on my writing, I challenged them that to be a Knight of Rizal is more than a title. Knight of Rizal as a title is important, but we should do more than the title. We should exhibit in our lives, in every movement that we do, in our lips, in our mind, in our hearts, the full Rizalian virtues of how to be a follower of Rizal.
Now, I know that there should be one thing that you witnessed personally that inspired you in the Knights of Rizal.
Yeah. So this will be a question for myself. Do I regret to become a Knight of Rizal? And was I inspired? And actually, I would say to you, I did a good decision. Actually, one thing that inspired me to be part of this Night of Rizal is actually the brotherhood, the fraternal brotherhood of our fellow knights. I mean, we have our barcadas, of course, but through these Nights of Rizal, I was able to meet with the same people with the same mind and with the same passion for Rizal, and it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned about this gentleman, Sir Bob Alipolo. Uh,
Yeah.
Aside from him, or if you want to elaborate, my question is: there any particular member that you look up to?
And there's so many people that even before I joined the Knights of Rizal, I know some people on the Knights of Rizal. They're quite seniors now, but I really look up to them. So, of course, Danny Peralta, Cesar Bartolome, Ricardo de Vera, Ralph Posadas.
Is there any specific character in these people that really inspired you? And the reason you look up to them.
Says, it's number one reason would be the love for our motherland country. Being a Knights of Rizal, the first and foremost that we should have would be the love for our motherland, regardless of our intellectual capacity, even though we are not knowledgeable or not, regardless of our position or status in life. But if you have this passion, love for our motherland, for me, that's very, very essential and absolutely important to be a Knight of Rizal. No one would be deserving to be a Knight of Rizal if that person, if that man doesn't have this love for our motherland, because we exemplify the virtues and values of this name Jose Rizal, and Jose Rizal would be synonymous to love of country. We can disregard all these achievements, but there's one thing that would be restored with the name of Jose Rizal, and that is the love for our motherland. So if a brother doesn't have this genuine, sincere love for our country, and I would say categorically that he doesn't deserve to be called sir.
Now, on the other side, if you were to invite somebody to be a member of your Northern Sydney chapter, a regular person, a potential knight, how would you go about it? What would you tell him?
You know what I usually do? I actually do not invite them directly. I mean, I would want them to see in me, based on what I do, based on what I say, and all those activities that I do. If they are inspired to what I do and what I write, then that's actually the best way to invite people. At the same time, strategically, if I have to do that thing, how will I really invite if I have to use direct invitation? Of course, the first thing that I would say is this: do you know Jose Rizal? Do you have this love for Philippines, our motherland? If you want, we have these Knights of Rizal. It's up to you if you'd like to join. But I would not, because for me personally, being a Knight of Rizal should be voluntarily. That's the only way that we can invite people to be part of this order, that they will become a positive contributor of our order. Otherwise, if they just join our order for other personal reasons or agenda, I mean, they will not become a productive member of our order.
Sure, that's very well said. I know that there's really, when you emulate Rizal and they see it to you, on you, from you, they will be inspired, and you don't even have to say anything.
That's right.
They will be inspired to
That's
join
right.
and copy what they see as admirable. Now, I know that the Knights of Rizal is here to emulate, study the writings of Dr. Jose Rizal, and I know you're a big fan of Dr. Jose Rizal from your postings. Is there any particular writing that Dr. Jose Rizal did perform that touched your heart? And
My younger days, we read the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. Though it's a long time ago, but I can still vividly recall the story of the injustices being suffered by Basilio and Crispin, and then the abuses of Padre Damaso. I mean, the story of the Noli Me Tangere and Filibusteri probably gave me such inspiration at a very younger age. And then eventually, I enjoyed the Mi Ultimo Adios, especially the first stanza. I made a Rizaliana on the 30th December, and I recited this and showcased it to our fellow Knights of Rizal.
for those who might be curious on where your writing would be, would you like to mention your FB page, or where they can find your writings and your poems?
Yes po. Salamat po. Thank you so much. So if you would like to get to know more about me, especially on my passion and advocacy for Dr. Jose Rizal, you can follow on Facebook page. I have these two pages dedicated for our dear Jose Rizal. One is Tulat Panulat para kay Jose Rizal. I usually write poems and essays for Dr. Jose Rizal. Traditionally, every 19th of June of the year and every 30th of December. And I also have another one, which is the Rizaliana or Reflection. And I have another group page po, which is all about the philosopher. It says the philosopher, and there you can see some of my articles being written in some newspapers.
You talked about your love of poetry and poem, and you're not always that serious. I'm pretty sure. Is there? Let me ask you: is there anything that excites you about the Knights of Rizal?
If there's one thing that really excites me, because every meeting we have this sharing, and I was also able to share my thoughts about Rizal, and it inspires me as well, because I have these fellow brothers who are also wanting to know more about Rizal. Of course, even though I know more about Rizal, it doesn't mean that I do not learn from them. It's quite serious still, but the chances that we meet together every month and we talk about Rizal other than the formal meeting, I think it's very valuable, not just for me, not for me, but for my fellow brothers.
Now,
Yes, sir.
pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, when you guys were meeting as a group, doing your activities, ceremonies, rituals, and everything, is there any specific activity that was fun for you? For instance, karaoke. For instance, just talking to your fellow
Yeah.
knights or the kababaihan. What's fun for you in the group, outside
Yes.
the realm of the
Yeah.
formal and more serious part of the Knights of Rizal? What can you elaborate on what's fun for you with the group?
Of course, I would have to say that our chapter is quite new. We started August 2019, and the pandemic started around, let's say, January 2020. But before that, we sometimes have drinking. We drink beers occasionally. We have coffees. Of course, we were planning to have karaoke as well. I love singing. I love singing so much, but unfortunately, because of this pandemic, we were not able to do that. But prior to that, we were able to do something like we have lunch together, coffee once in a while, and we go to the pubs for beer. We're having fun, but at the same time, because I always promote doing meaningful things at the same time while we're drinking, we can also talk about Rizal and about our country. So we're having fun, but at the same time, we're making our time meaningful and productive. But it doesn't mean that we cannot have fun.
I know that Jose Rizal, being a huge person as he is, not uh, physically, but being very, just like you, enjoys writing, enjoys uh, sports, and even singing. I know that in his second sojourn to Europe, that's one of the things that they would sing Kundiman for fun. So basically, that's what we do too in the
Yes,
Nights of Rizal.
that's
We
right.
just call it karaoke.
We're also planning to have like sport activities, like we can have bowling, tennis. At the same time, we can go for bushwalking. We're trying to think of many things that we can do to establish good camaraderie among us.
Right? Because even Rizal, like I was saying earlier, even though he seemed like very serious most of his life, and uh, at times he didn't have money and he would go from place to place to eat, and sometimes he would say, oh, I already ate, and he'll come back but he didn't really eat. He'll come back to the hotel, but he also had
Yes.
fun. And I think that's what although the you know
Yes.
the propaganda movement, that's a very serious organization with very serious task, but you can see them skirmishing with fencing, even in theater. You can see them dressed up and having picnics too. So yeah, you're right. As Knights of Rizal, we should look into the holistic part of being a Knights of Rizal,
That's
to
right.
emulate also what
That's
Rizal did.
so many things that we can do to follow Rizal and on his artistic and creative level. Rizal is a man of adventure. Other than the serious side, the intellectual side, we also have the social side, and that is to enjoy working, playing with people, and to enjoy actually even nature. Jose Rizal loves nature so much. We can actually maximize our brotherhood by enjoying the opportunity that is given by our nature. We can go for bushwalking, fishing. There's so many things that we can do.
The Knights
Yes.
of Rizal is going to have a Supreme Council election next year. And if you have the opportunity to sit with the incoming Supreme Commander, obviously it won't be Sir Elihu, because in our bylaws, he only has one term. But if you have the opportunity to sit and
Yes.
talk to the incoming, the elected Supreme Commander, what would you say to him?
If I will be given a chance to talk to the next candidate or the one who will be having this leadership, I would like to challenge him to first and foremost, if we can prioritize the importance of education or self-development among the Knights of Rizal. You know, it will be a challenge for all of us, even for myself, that we have some brothers, without giving judgment, of course. We have so many brothers who are still probably lacking knowledge about Rizal. It would sound ironic that we are Knights of Rizal, but very few of us actually read the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. I mean, we represent uh, Doctoros and Rizal, and yet with our title, we lack knowledge. So I think it would be crucial for the new leadership to give importance to the training and education of the brothers, which we can do. I do not want to judge people, of course. Of course, there's so many new candidates and brothers who have little knowledge about Rizal. So it will be a challenge for us who know more about Rizal to make sure that they will be educated. And it's a Rizalian virtue to help people be educated and enlightened. And we have to start in our own backyard.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Sir Rado, for your time. I know you have a lot to offer the Knights of Rizal, and we want to thank you
Salamat po.
for
Thank
spreading
you
your
very much.
knowledge through Facebook and through other means. And believe me, this is much needed in the organization, in the KOR universe. Now, do you
Of
have
course
any
po.
uh, parting words before we go?
Of course, thank you very much po for this opportunity. Now, as parting words for my dear brothers and of even my fellow Filipinos who are not Knights of Rizal, I hope we will all continue to be truthful with our dedication to follow Dr. Jose Rizal, not just in words, not just in lips, but in our full heart and full action. What I mean is this: I would like to reiterate what I gave to you for during my Rizaliana this December 2019. I said to my speech that more than a stone, we need love. More than information, we need inspiration. As a Knight of Rizal, it is a challenge for all of us to dedicate our life with Rizalian virtues such as charity, service to mankind, service to humanity. And I hope my fellow brothers of Knights of Rizal, we will continue to study the writings and works of Rizal, because if we want to look and search for Jose Rizal, it's not just in the image or stone, it's actually in his words, in his works. There we can find Jose Rizal. And with this knowledge and wisdom that we possess, we'll be able to effectively inspire other people to follow Dr. Jose Rizal. And first and lastly, but not the least, we should always maintain this genuine love for our motherland, the Philippines, that wherever we are, being a Filipino should always be part of our being in our hearts and our minds.
Again, thank you so much, sir, and more power to you and to your new chapter. And regards to everybody. Happy New Year.